Hello again, most valued viewer, and welcome back to another development log for SynthVR. It's been a little while, so there is some ground to cover, and I want to just get into it. First of all, I gotta say I'm so honored and grateful for all the good vibes, all the positive vibrations that SynthVR is getting. Recently, we were featured in the sort of the technology press. Here's SynthVR in Road to VR, which is the probably biggest VR blog. Here is SynthVR in Music Tech, and here's SynthVR in Music Radar, which is particularly cool for me because I grew up as a kid reading Computer Music Magazine from Future, and that's these guys. So that is really incredible. The Discord server is growing. We have more people coming in. And there's fun stuff going on there all the time. So if you're not already there, come join us. Because the development process around SynthVR is all about being interactive and all about sort of working towards this goal as a community. And that's what we're building on the Discord server. Another new initiative is that I've started doing development streams. I try to do them weekly, where I sit down for a couple hours and we hang out. We work on SynthVR, we implement new stuff. We write code or make adjustments or fix bugs or think about new feature ideas. And so far it's been really fun, really a good experience, and I hope to keep on doing it, and I hope to see you there as well. Finally, I've decided to open up SynthVR to donations on itch.io. So if you're enjoying the app and you want to support the development, then please consider making a small contribution. And what I will do in return is that I will give you a role on our Discord server and access to a special chat called the Supporters Lounge. And just so you know, these donations are really helpful. It's working towards buying the gear that I sort of need to fit to wrap up this project. So I need to get my hands on an HTC Vive, for example. I'm looking into getting one of those secondhand. Because I need to test whether SynthVR works. So in order to support HTC Vive, I need to get my hands on one of those. Another thing I want to invest in is a new Windows PC. This is a very shoddy Windows PC that I bought right after the SideQuest release. And I will say it is struggling to keep up. So if you have a little bit of money left over and you want to support the project, please consider making a donation. I really appreciate it. Let's get to the fun stuff. We have a lot of new features in SynthVR. We have a new menu system, which is more scalable for working with more modules. We have a spectator view, so when you're on PCVR, the recordings will look a lot cleaner. We have a new oscillator module called Prime Wave, which is the first sort of release-ready module, and it's using some interesting takes on wavetable synthesis. And finally, we have save and load functionality. Let's just get into VR and have a look. All right, so we are in VR. This time I'm on a Valve Index, sponsored by Valve, which is awesome. Thanks so much for supplying me with this. And this has enabled me to basically support Valve Index. And we're in SynthVR. One of the first things you'll notice is that the camera you are watching from the screen is smoothed, so you're not going to feel sick if I start really getting into the music. Now let me bring up the new menu. Here it is. And this is sort of inspired by sort of a touch screen. I've seen Jean-Michel Jarre play with one of these. He had a big touch screen next to his synthesizers. And so this is sort of a physical touch screen that we can move around like this. We can summon it if we want to. On Oculus, that's a menu button. On Index, it's press down the one thumbstick. We can grab it and then we can use the thumbstick to scale it. So I find an appropriate scale, and I can then just point at the menu, and we have some different tabs. This is a very sort of deprecated controls overview. This will be updated. More interestingly, we have the Create view. So in Create view, we can see all of our modules in a new way. So we have these sort of lists where we can sort of swipe through them and check out our modules. And they are categorized, like before, they're categorized by utility. I want to implement a feature at one point where you can sort them by different things. So maybe you'd want to sort them by maker. But anyway, I can go through them. I can go into, I can press on one of these module cards and I'll get sort of an expanded info view. I can read a little bit about it. You know, it'll be documented. So, oh, this is a speaker and it does this and this. So if you're not sure what a module does, you can go in and you can have a look. We have some more tabs here. This is not implemented yet. Record, this is not implemented yet. And we have a settings tab. One of the things we can do is we can clear our session from here, but we can also save and load, and I'll show you that very soon. So that's the menu system. And again, I can move it around. I can summon it if I need it, if I'm somewhere else. And I can close it. So if I'm tired of looking at it, I can just close it down. So that's how that works. So, new module. This is the prime wave, and this is a wavetable oscillator. It's actually a dual wavetable oscillator. I'm just going to create one of these. There we go, and here it is. So I can grab a hold and I'll place it here. We have a frequency modulation input, all right, and we can control the amount. Let's listen to that in a second. We have a dedicated pitch input where 1 virtual volt covers 5 octaves. So it's a dedicated pitch input. We have chorus tune, fine tune, detune, and tuning offsets for each of the oscillators. So we have 2 waves going on here, A and B. And I'm just going to take A and feed that to a speaker here. All right, and we're hearing a sine wave. We can tune it. 1 octave up, 1 octave down. Okay. Where it gets a little interesting is when we start using other waves. So let's do that now. Triangle wave, kind of. Square wave, sawtooth, and then complex waves. Bit reduced wave. Okay. That's good, we have more waves. But you know what? We have 2 of those. So why don't we instead output the product of these 2? I'm gonna make this one a square wave. And when I adjust this mix fader, see that I'm now mixing in between these 2 waves. And I can offset each of the waves. Up to an octave. Now, the other interesting thing we can do, and let me just spawn an oscillator here, a normal lab os. We can now modify the mix between these 2 waves with the input. And this, of course, runs at audio rate. Pretty cool, right? All right, what else can we do? Well, we have, of course, frequency modulation. We have detune between these 2 oscillators. Ooh. Now I want to sequence the pitch of this now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a lab sequencer. And because we have a dedicated pitch input, this will work now. Now I have something going here and I want to play around with these waves a little bit. Kind of interesting timbre. Another feature of the prime wave is that we can get out the individual oscillators also. We're getting the mix right now, which is nice, but sometimes we'll want to also have some control over the individual ones, so we can actually get that directly. So that's the one wave, and the other. Something that we could do is we could route this, let's say B here. I'm just going to route that directly here first. Route the shorter envelope to that one. Oop. Okay, and then maybe we could take A plus B. We can route the longer envelope to that one. But before we do that, let's just listen to it. So now we're getting like a fun little punch from the B oscillator and a longer sort of decay from the mix. Okay, so I'm happy with my work. I'm gonna go to the menu, and you know what? I'm gonna save it. And I can clear everything. If I'm tired of it, I can clear my session. This is what I'm working on now. And you know, let me save that in my other slot here. That first jam was so good. So let me go back and let me load slot number 1. There we go, and it's all there. I think that's it. So that was the VR demo. Hope you enjoyed. I have VR face, but it's not as bad with an index, I suppose. So I'm only slightly red in the face. The last thing we're gonna have a look at is what is next. So let's get out the roadmap here, and you can see this done column is starting to get quite long, which is good. What's next immediately is more of these prime modules. The prime wave, I hope you find it powerful, and we're gonna do more like that. We're gonna do a filter, a multi-mode filter, which can will have some sort of gain saturation options. We'll have some often requested reverb and delay, and then an LFO. That'll be the sort of first part of the prime module development. Something that we'll do simultaneously with this is providing better support for more platforms. Valve Index, there's some bugs to fix. There's also sort of controls instructions need to be developed for Index and Vive and Oculus Touch. I want to support Vive, but need to get my hands on a Vive to actually test it, because it seems that it does not work out of the box. If you look a little bit into the future, we're looking into more modules. There's a big list of modules here. I won't go into that in detail, but we're gonna get a lot of that done. Then we have some performance recording features, making audio, wave recordings, stuff like that, without having to do screen captures. And then we have feature requests. We have them coming in all the time. Starting to get some really cool and interesting feature effects around interacting with different components like dials, knobs and faders, ways that the VR controller could be used to, for example, provide fine-tuning or have tooltips and sort of information come up when you are adjusting values with the components on the modules. If you did join the Discord server, put some feature requests in here, put your ideas in here. We get so many, and it's great. It's really perfect. Really, really good to get that feedback, and we do get that feedback implemented as well. For example, the wave display on the prime wave was a suggestion, I think, by Neptune, who we have here, SynthVR supporter. So do come and bring your feature requests in here. All right, that's it. We covered everything. Thanks for watching. If you like SynthVR, consider making a contribution. Consider donating on itch.io. And if you like SynthVR, come and join us on Discord, where we're having a lot of fun. We're playing synths, we're making bleeps, we're making bloops, we're making things happen. So until next time, have a good one.